Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Let's see. Where would you like to start this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. South Annex, position number 10.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I neglected to mention that I will need a breakout with an interpreter for position 6.
Thank you for letting me hear it.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Gant. And who's representing Ms. Odi Adema this afternoon? Position 10. Who's representing position 10?
That's me, Your Honor. Sorry, I was having audio issues.
Okay. That's your case, Ms. Duncan, but who's representing her?
I do, Your Honor. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Ms. Kim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Odom. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004313J with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? Good afternoon.
Hey, who is this? Is ODEH?
Yes.
Okay. Second arrest. Last was 2018, forgery, 4th degree. It just says accusation, so it's just been accused.
Okay. Thank you. Afternoon, Ms. Duncan.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident occurred on June 27, 2022 at 2612 Old Hateville Road Southwest, apartment 4. Your Honor, according to the police report and the warrants for this offense, these are actually open criminal investigations, as the court knows, and the state is going to be seeking an upgrade for this charge, but it relates to the charge that was presented to us prior to further investigation. The defendant in this case and another gentleman by the name of Bo were in the residence of apartment 4 when one of the victims in this case, a juvenile CW, returned home after his mother, Jeanette Stinson, was in the hospital. When he returned home to that location, he was greeted by Bo, who and the defendant was behind him, who he also had a handgun, and told this victim that he no longer lived at that apartment. Officers did note that forced injury was indicated, locks were broken, and also it was reported to police that some very valuable items were stolen from that property at the time. This defendant was there on scene with this other person. The other person was not currently apprehended. However, she was there, and the state is going to, there was $1,000 surety bond set. We're going to request that surety bond be increased to $1,500. No contact with either of the victims in this case, CW or Jeanette Stinson, JENNETTE Stinson, STINSON. Stay away from that incident location. No alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Here, Your Honor, we have a particular concern for the safety of the victims in this case, due to the fact that while the mother was away in the hospital and the children were staying with family, they entered these persons' homes and stole valuable information as well as identifying information. So we have a concern for their safety in that regard. We acknowledge that this defendant does have very limited history, but given the nature of the offense alleged, we're going to request that bond remain at we asked for the increase to $1,500 and the other conditions as stated. Nothing further from the state.
Okay, well, at the present time, she's only charged with criminal trespass. So as far as the criminal trespass goes, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with the alleged victims, and to stay away from the incident location. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Kim?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Next, we have position number 14.
for the children, so that's, reason enough to.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Jeanette. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? You're giving me the thumbs up. That's a yes. So you've been charged in case 22 CR 004302A with possession of marijuana less than an ounce and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Good afternoon, Ms. King. Is this your case?
It is, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Okay.
The state is requesting a $4,000 signature bond, a stay away from 2655 Ivy Dale Court Southwest in Atlanta. No further contact with the victim, Mr. Alexia Berry, ELEXSIA, Berry, traditional spelling, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. On yesterday, Your Honor, and officers were dispatched to a dispute call. And when they arrived, they met with the defendant first. They immediately smelled a strong odor of alcohol coming from her breath. She stated that the victim in this case struck her after wanting to have sex with her, and she declined. When they spoke with the victim in this case, Mr. Berry, he stated that she's the one that wanted to have sex and he declined. She straddled him, Your Honor, against his wishes. And when she got upset, that's when she called 911 stating that he struck her. He's contending, we've been in contact with him and he's continuously stating that he never struck her. There was no kind of physical altercation in that way. While the officers were on scene, again, noticing the strong smell of alcohol, the defendant actually lit marijuana and smoked it in the presence of the officers. Due to that and the conflicting stories and the condition of the defendant, they determined that she was the predominant aggressor and took her into custody. Speaking with our victim, he stated this has happened before. She drinks a lot and she acts like this when she drinks. And he's saying that he wants her to have help for her drinking. I would defer to the court regarding an ADET if that's appropriate. Nothing further from the state.
And you've asked for, Ms. King, you've asked for a $4,000 signature bond?
That is correct, Your Honor. That's due to her criminal history or her lack of criminal history.
And what is the breakdown? Is that 2,000? Is it 1,000 for the possession and 3 for the simple? What is the breakdown?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 1,000 for the possession and 3,000 for the simple battery family violence.
Okay. So Ms. Kim, thank you, Ms. King. So Ms. Kim, I take it that you don't have any objection to the signature bond. What about the stay away?
Stay away. What was the address that stay away from?
I've got 2655 Ivy Dale Court. Is that right?
Correct. I want to make sure that my client's address is 1011 DeMock Street. Is it correct? Can I verify with my client? Miss Jeanette, that's your current address, right?
Okay. I used to live there, but me and Alexia actually have a house together now. So that's what I was telling my attorney.
1011?
Yes, that was my last address. My address is the address y'all have now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. They reside together and they have ownership together, so we cannot have a stay order.
Okay, my name is.
Well, given the state of affairs as they are at the present time, I'm not going to allow her back into the home until this is resolved. So it's going to be, she can have a one-time escort to retrieve any belongings, but she's going to have to stay away from Miss Berry and the Ivy Dale Court address till this matter is resolved. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and it'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial for the possession, a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial for the simple battery, 1 day anger awareness with the other conditions. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the contact?
No further contact. Who do we have next?
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. This is position 2, Mr. Bakery.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Bakery. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. So yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Buckery. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004306F with battery, family violence, and reckless driving. Is your history, Mr. Howard?
2020 DUI conviction. Second arrest.
Ms. Duncan, is this your case?
Yes, it is, Your Honor. This defendant has two cases before the court today, so I'll start with the one that you called out first.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Ms. Duncan. I didn't see that. Let me go ahead and make sure that he knows. And you've been charged in case 22 CR 004309F with illegal stop standing where prohibited, failure to obey signs or control devices, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, expiration or no license, and reckless driving. I'm sorry, Ms. Duncan, you can proceed.
Yes, on the first incident, position number 2, it occurred on January 30th, 2022. Officers were dispatched to the location about a physical dispute of 10820 Abbott Bridge Road. There were several calls about this incident, Your Honor. Officers were advised that a male identified as the defendant in this case was repeatedly punching and hitting a female, the victim in this case, Ms. Gluwasam Bakar, GLUWASEUM, Bakar, BAKARE, who is the current spouse of this defendant. So they received a lot of calls about this defendant hitting this victim and punching her repeatedly. Uniquely about this incident, Your Honor, they were actually in a moving vehicle at the time. Witnesses indicated to officers that they were witnessing these two, the fight happening in the car. They were fighting so much to the point where this defendant was driving and swerving into oncoming traffic. Upon approach, officers did note that there were additionally 3 children in the car, Your Honor, ages 2, 6, and 8. In this case, Your Honor, one of the witnesses did indicate to police that he saw the child, the 2-year-old, fall from the vehicle. There's an independent witness in this case. However, we were able to speak with the victim in this case, and Your Honor, she is totally denying that ever even being in this location, but that the fact that there's an independent witness that saw this happen and these remarks were made to the police officers at the time of incident gives us great concern for the personal safety of this victim, because after speaking with our victim advocate, she's denying that this ever happened and refuses to acknowledge any of these events. Given that, Your Honor, there is a hold without bond on this case, but we are going to request a total $6,000 surety bond, $3,500 for the battery, family violence, and $2,500 for the reckless driving. Given the severity and nature of the offenses alleged, also with the risk of reoffense, given that they live together, their spouses, and the risk of intimidation of this witness, which we are concerned a bit about presently because she's now denying this event ever occurred. We're also going to ask for no further contact with the victim in this case, no further contact with the children involved in this case, stay away from wherever the victim is currently living, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Can you just go on to position number 3?
Okay. And on this instance, Your Honor, it occurred yesterday. In this one in particular, officers were traveling on McGinnis Ferry Road at Hospital Parkway in Johns Creek in Fulton County when they noticed that traffic was not moving despite the traffic signal being green. Upon approaching to further investigate what was going on, they noticed a vehicle driven by the defendant in this case was stopped at the green light and that the driver was asleep in the vehicle. Once officers called for backup, they approached the vehicle to wake the defendant up. And once up, the defendant was kind of incoherent in terms of being able to respond to the officer's command to put the vehicle in park. Instead of doing so, the defendant let down the window. And once the defendant let down the window, the officer reached in and placed the car in park. And they asked him to get out of the car. He was having difficulty meeting the request of the officers. Officers were able to finally get the defendant to come out of the car. And they asked had he had anything to drink. He said not really. However, officers were concerned. They did attempt at one point to conduct field sobriety. However, they did not continue with those sobriety tests because the defendant in this case was not able to follow their instructions at all as far as the horizontal nystagmus gaze evaluation, and he was having a lot of trouble keeping his head still. While these tests were being conducted, the other officers looked up the information given to them by this defendant, and they noticed that he had a current warrant for the previous case that we were speaking about, and this defendant was taken into custody for the charges alleged. He was stopped within 30 feet of the green light, and he was not responding to the commands of the officers at that time. And he is actually, according to the records the officers pulled, is not licensed in the state of Georgia. Here we have a concern about the safety of the defendant himself and the others on the road, as he was asleep in a operated vehicle not in park at a green light for at least 3 minutes or at least 3 cycles, as officers had indicated. The state is going to be requesting a $4,000 total surety. That's $500 per for counts 1 through 4, and $2,000 for the reckless driving, which is count 5. We're going to recommend a defensive driving course, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Okay, so for position number 3, it's gonna, for the first 4 charges, it's gonna be a $250 signature bond through the jail. And for the reckless driving, number 5, $1,000 signature bond through the jail. That's gonna make it a total of a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no driving without a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you for position 3, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, would you speak to position 2 for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Mr. Timoteo Bakari is 42 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 4 years. He shares 3 children with the complaining witness. The children are ages 2, 7, and 9. Mr. Bakari has a Bachelor of Science degree in political science. He is currently employed as a super trainer for doctors and nurses for EPIC, which is an electronic medical record. He also he oversees a charitable foundation, SGH Sports Academy, and this organization provides sports training for 100 boys and girls between the ages of 7 and 18. Your Honor, my client denies the allegations, and as we heard from the state, the complaining witness denies the allegations as well. My client wants to continue having contact with the complaining witness. However, I did speak to her. I reached out to Ms. Ola Wason Bakari. She informs me that she does not want to have any contact with my client. Therefore, we will defer to the court's ruling. And if Your Honor orders a no contact and a stay away, we would request a third-party transfer for the children. He is recommended for a signature bond. We did not hear about any convictions for violence whatsoever, Your Honor. Therefore, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Bakari's behalf. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000. That would be $750 for the battery, family violence, and $250 for reckless driving. Lastly, Your Honor, my client informs me that he does not have his phone account, and he does not have the means to contact anyone to help him with bond. And thank you, Your Honor.
Hold on, getting the key.
Okay, so for the battery, family violence, it's going to be a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the reckless driving, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, makes it a total of $5,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with the alleged victim, Ms. Bakari, stay away from the Abbott Bridge Road address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. There's to be third-party transfer of the children for visitation, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, if I may clarify, I'm not exactly sure if that incident location is their address. That is the address where the incident occurs, on the street where the witness is.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Duncan. So he's to stay away from the residence of Mrs. Bakari. And
Yes.
if that's also his residence, he can have a one-time escort to go back to treatment and belongings. That's sufficient.
Your Honor, he informs me that that is not his residence. And he also states that that is not Ms. Bakari's residence either. So we're satisfied with the one-time law enforcement escort.
Okay, to her residence. Okay. Anything further for Mr. Bakari?
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Duncan.
Judge Morrow, for position 3,
Yes.
those counts, what is the bond for that?
Okay, so for count 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's a $250 signature bond through the jail. And for count 5, the reckless driving, is $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Okay.
So a total of a $2,000 signature bond. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Good.
Okay, you're done, sir. Next, position 5, Mr. Cantu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cantu. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Free to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0043118 with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Last arrest was June 21st. 2 counts of trespass out of Roswell. That's open in state court. 22 CR 003-974H. Last arrest before that was in April, failure to appear for suspended license. November 2021, simple battery, family violence. 21 CR 006-493. What's the last letter? They didn't put it on there. That's it. So he got 2 open cases. No, hold on, let me back up. He's on probation for battery out of state court and has the open cases out of state court. That's it.
Duncan?
Yes, this incident occurred yesterday at the Manchester at Mansell apartment homes located at 255 Fielding Lane. In this incident, Your Honor, officers were dispatched to a suspicious person call. The defendant in this case was staying in a vacant apartment at the address stated. And upon officers' arrival, they made contact with the defendant in this case. He stated that he was waiting for his girlfriend to return home. He stated to officers that the apartment was neither his nor his girlfriend's and that he was already given a criminal trespass notification from the property owners. And so officers did an investigation and they noticed that the apartment was empty with multiple window furniture. So they gave him an additional criminal trespass. We are concerned here about the risk of reoffense. In this case, Your Honor, we're going to request a $1,500 surety, given that he does have open criminal trespass cases. And we're concerned about the flight risk, given that there is a recent FTA on this case. We're going to ask for a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Good afternoon, Ms. McLeod.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My client is 24 years old. He has a 10th grade education, he tells me. He is currently unemployed, Your Honor. He also tells me that he is homeless. And that's the reason why he was just there trying to, he said he was being his girlfriend and he had some things there, Your Honor. So essentially he was trying to seek some shelter. He doesn't have the means to pay for a bond, Your Honor. So I would ask the court, given that this is not a violent offense, we'll consider giving him a signature bond so he can get out of jail.
Anything further, Ms. McLeod?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Courtroom 2, can you unmute for me, please?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Cantor, you understand you can't go back to those Manchester apartments. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to give you a $2,000 signature bond through the jail with the condition that you don't go back to those apartments, and that you have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. If they pick you up again for being there, you're going to be right back and right back here. You understand what I'm saying?
I will.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Position 16, Mr. White.
Good afternoon, Mr. White. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. White, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004304J for certain acts on a bus rail station prohibited and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, he got 50 total.
What's like the last 5 or 10 years?
Last arrest was trespass, 2018 NOLO out of Lawrenceville. 2017 shoplifting NOLO, DeKalb. 2017 probation violation. He had a 2014 FTA, was dismissed. 2014 probation for shoplifting. Came off a 2013 conviction. Want me to keep going?
You're good. Thank you. Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor. On yesterday, officers were patrolling the 5 Points MARTA station when they observed the defendant on the north-south center platform, where he poured a shot bottle of vodka into a clear plastic cup that already had a red beverage in it. Shortly thereafter, they saw him drink from the cup. And when they came to place him under arrest, they conducted a GCIC search, which turned up a MARTA suspension that was issued on April 25th, that began on May 25th, and it was to expire on July 24th, Your Honor. So that's the basis of the charges here today. The state is requesting a $2,000 surety. That's $1,000 on each charge. A stay away from the 5 Points MARTA station located at 30 Alabama Street Southwest. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay, so it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail for each charge, which means a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. And he's to abide by any active MARTA suspensions, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and can you unmute for me, courtroom 2? Mr. White, I'm going to let you out, but you cannot go back to MARTA until those suspensions or that suspension is lifted. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Position 12, Mr. Powers. Right here. Have a seat right here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Powers. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
So yes.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Powers, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004300F with 2 counts of simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? You're on mute, Mr. Howard. You're speaking.
6 total. June 25th, 2019, simple battery out of Appling County. 2009 obstruction conviction. And before that was a 1994 obstruction conviction. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor. Yesterday, officers were flagged down on Northside Drive and Marietta Street, and they were flagged down stating that a man was beating on a woman. When they arrived, they immediately detained the defendant in this case. They spoke with the first victim, a Mr. Ayinde Kadim, Ayinde Kadeem Woodley, Woodley. And he said he was outside of his place of employment, Rocksteady, and he was helping his friend, the other victim in this case, Miss Shayna Marie Hilaire, get into an Uber safely. While he was doing that, the defendant came up behind them and struck them in the back of the head multiple times. At that point, he began to take off on foot. Mr. Woodley then ran after the defendant and was able to apprehend him until the police arrived. The officers were able to speak with the defendant in this case, and he admitted to striking them and intending to strike them, Your Honor. And while this defendant doesn't have a substantial violent history, he does have an open violent case that does concern the state, excuse me, Your Honor. We spoke with one of the victims, Miss Shayna Hilaire, and she stated that she does not know the defendant, never knew him, and she is still having pain in the back of her head. For that reason, the state is requesting a $5,000 surety. That's $2,500 on each count, Your Honor. No further contact with the victims, Mr. Ayinde Woodley and Shayna, Shayna, Marie Hilaire, Hilaire. I would defer to the court regarding a stay away since it was in the roadway, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yes, Mr. Powers is 50 years old. He has been here in Georgia for last 43 years. He has his parents here in Georgia. He does not have any employment. He has not had any kind of employment for about 25 years because of his disability. And his education is GED. And right now he has been homeless for about a week. So we are referring him to social worker services and also behavioral health evaluation test so he can get some help accordingly. We would like to request for signature on bond, and yet if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for $1,000 maximum surety bond for each charge, $2,000 total. Thank you.
Okay, so it's going to be a $500 good bond on each charge, which makes it for a total of $1,000 good bond. You've stated that you're going to have a social worker visit with him so that he can help establish some type of residence. Stay no further contact with Mr. Woodley or Ms. Halliace, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. If he's not able to make bond, if you'll have someone report at the SAP calendar regarding the social worker visit. And Ms. Champion, good afternoon. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
When is the SAP reset date?
The SAP reset date is July 19th.
Okay, so if he's not able to make the bond, we'll see him back on July 19th. Okay, good luck to you, sir.
You're done. Go ahead. Position 7, Mr. Gates. Have a seat right here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gates. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Mr. Gates, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004307F with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
62 total.
In the last 5 years or so?
He's on parole for shoplifting. Let's see. Last arrest was January. It was for a parole violation. Also a shoplifter. Let's see. He was convicted in 2018 for the shoplifting. Got another shoplifting from 2018. Failure to appear for suspended license. And shoplifting. That was from 2016. 2015 shoplifting conviction. 2015 shoplifting arrest. He got a lot of shoplifting convictions.
Okay.
2013 probation violations for driving and reckless conduct. Let's see, a 2012 burglary, possession of tools and criminal damage to property. Ended up being a trespass conviction. I thought I saw a robbery in here. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Your Honor, in this case, officers were dispatched to the Dollar General located at 2690 Metropolitan Parkway in reference to a criminal trespass. In this case, Your Honor, the defendant had been warned several times not to return to this Dollar General. However, the defendant continued to return to this location. The state has a concern about the risk of reoffense here, given that he was previously told not to return to this location and continue to do so. We also have a concern for flight risk, given that this defendant does have some recent FTAs and parole violations on his record. Given the risk of reoffense and the flight risk in this case, Your Honor, we are going to request $1,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Courtroom 2, can you unmute for me, please? Mr. Gates, if I let you out, you can't go back to that Dollar General. You understand me?
Yes, yes.
All right, so it's gonna be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Dollar General on Metropolitan Parkway, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Gant?
Yes, it does, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Gates, if you go back there, they're gonna call the police on you again, and you're gonna be right back where you are. You understand me?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thanks.
Position I, Mr. McCrary.
You said 3,000?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. McCree. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004298G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
McCrae's second arrest last was 2017, suspended license.
Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor. Yesterday, officer was dispatched to a fight with weapon call. He was dispatched to 369 McDaniel Street. Upon arrival, he met with the defendant as well as the victim in this case, Ms. Waltisha Johnson. The defendant in this case actually stated that the victim was attempting to strike him with a pistol and that they had been arguing all morning via text. And at some point, the victim showed up at his home uninvited. And then she arrived with the pistol in her hand. At that point, he tried to take the pistol out of her hand, but he did admit that she never pointed it at him at any time. The people in the complex actually got involved, trying to pull them apart and try to keep them away from each other. The officer noted 2 scratch marks on the inside of his right arm, and he also noted, and that's on the defendant. He also noticed bruising on the elbow and scrapes on the victim of this case. They were ultimately both arrested due to the officer not being able to determine who was the primary aggressor. There was also another party there, the brother of Ms. Johnson, a brother of one of the parties that was there, and he saw how the argument started, but he didn't actually see if there was any physical contact between the two to determine who was the primary aggressor. That's actually the contention of everybody that was at the apartment complex. They saw the argument, but didn't actually see who started the fight. The state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Miss Waltisha Johnson, Waltisha Johnson, traditional spelling. The apartment is his, so the state is not requesting a stay away and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay, is Ms. Johnson's case yours also, Ms. King, or is that?
Yes. Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're gonna request a stay away for Ms. Johnson from that location?
That is correct, Your Honor, and due
Okay.
to her history, we're asking for a higher bond in her case, though.
Okay, all right. So in regards to this, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Johnson, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. McLeod?
Not really, Your Honor. The bond does suit me, but there are some other issues that have not been addressed.
Okay.
First of all, they share a child. They share a
Okay.
child. He tells me that he has primary custody of this child. You know, he does want mom to have access to the child as well. The court will note that my client really has no history. He was arrested for a traffic violation previously, but this is his first arrest. He's 39 years old, gainfully employed as a banker. He has a bachelor's degree. He is not in any way a threat to society. He is not afraid of the mother of his child. And to say no further contact, it's going to be a difficulty for them in terms of their 4-year-old child. I just wanted the court to know that.
Okay, I understand it's going to be a difficulty, but with the allegations, especially with there being allegations of a gun involved, and this taking place 2 days ago, I don't think that it's wise to put them back in the same household at the present
They
time.
don't live together, Your Honor, they never have.
Oh, okay. So,
Your Honor,
there can be third-party transfer of the child, and there can, you know, I'm not keeping him from his child. I've seen his child, but there can be third-party transfer. But
He
as
has
far as-
primary custody, Your Honor.
Okay, well, she can have third-party transfer when we get to her. So I just don't want them to have any contact at the present time, given the allegations and given that there was the possibility of a gun being involved. So they can work it out as to visitation with the child, if that's your only concern.
Your Honor, just for the record, Ms. Johnson Waltisha, she does not have any objection to no further violent contact as well. She would like to have a continuous contact.
Okay, I'm not going to allow them to have contact at the present time. I understand they might want to, but with the allegations and with the gun being involved, I'm not going to put them back as to having contact at this point in time. If you all want to modify the bond going forward at some point in time, you're happy to do that. But as far as now goes, he's to have no further contact with Ms. Johnson, and that's going to be what I order for her also. Okay. Any other questions regarding this bond?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. McCray.
Thank you.
Position 11, Mr. Parrish.
Are we not going to do the Ms. Johnson together since they are same?
I think that she's at the South Annex probably, or is that her right in courtroom 3?
No, she's in courtroom 3, Judge. I can switch them out, Ms. Johnson. I'll switch
Okay.
out.
All right. And do we have, I know we have an interpreter that's needed. Are we going to,
I forgot about
We're
this.
gonna do that last, Judge.
say it again?
We're gonna do it last.
Okay, so, and we're gonna do a breakout room last in courtroom 2 and then do the cases that we have in courtroom 3?
Yes.
Is that how we work? Okay, all right. I just want to make sure that this is most efficient way possible. And this is in courtroom 3. This is Ms. Johnson. Good afternoon, Ms. Johnson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Okay, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004297G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest. Last was 2013. Cruelty in the second, 2 counts. 2 counts. 1 count cruelty in the, hold on. 2013 cruelty in the first 2 counts, 1 count cruelty in the second, 2 counts of aggravated battery. Those were all dismissed out of Superior Court. And before that was 2009, giving false name, first offender out of Clayton County.
Do you have anything to add to the facts, Ms. King?
No, just reiterating the fact that she showed up with the gun is the reason why the state is requesting a $5,000 surety in this case.
Okay. Ms. Kim?
We would like to request your signature on bond, unsecured judicial relief as pretrial status or pretrial services also recommended for signature on bond. And of course, she has been here in Georgia all her life, 30 years, and she's actually pregnant right now. She's expecting a second baby, and she lost her second child not that long ago. So she's kind of like, this is kind of like a very sensitive situation physically. She really needs to get out of the jail and take care of her body. And she has been employed for the last 3 years as an insurance agent. She has an associate degree for journalism, and she has a strong ties to the community. I don't think that she's a flight risk because of her physical condition. She definitely is not flying anywhere. We would like to request for a signature on bond, just like the way Mr. Brendan McRae got the signature bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. McRae. She can have third-party transfer of the child for visitation, and stay away from the McDaniel Street address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you.
We'll go back to courtroom 2. Who do we have?
Judge, before we go back, we switched the plans here. So as
Okay.
for the interpreter case, they can do the breakout in courtroom 2. So if you can let them in.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
And then while we have that going on, we can do position 11, Mr. Parrish.
Okay, so we are gonna, and good afternoon, Madam Interpreter.
Oh, they're actually still on courtroom 3. Yeah, so they're good.
Okay, so where do you want me to?
No, you don't have to. I thought they signed out courtroom 3.
Okay.
But they'll be doing the breakout in courtroom. Yeah, Okay, so basically,
Okay.
never mind. He's in courtroom 1.
Okay, so we're gonna put, and what position is in courtroom 1?
It is position 6 and 5.
5 and 6.
No, hold on, let me double check. It says position 6. Yeah, he's actually position 6 and also 5. Is it?
Okay, I have, we've already done Mr. Cantu, who's 5.
Okay, no, it's position 6.
Position 6, okay. And so who's representing Mr. Ignacia?
Your Honor, I am Wanda Gant.
Okay, Ms. Gant. Oh, so we're gonna put you into the breakout room with Madam Interpreter.
Yes.
And courtroom 1, I think. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, and I guess then we'll have to complete cases of Ms. Kim's while Ms. Gant is in the breakout room, and I'm not sure what cases those are. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Okay, so if we can go ahead and place Ms. Gant and the interpreter in the breakout room. Ms. Kim, what cases are yours?
My cases are from position 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, and 17, Your Honor.
Okay, did you get that?
I got it.
Okay, so wherever you want to go with that.
Come on, Mr. Roberts.
We can go to position number 17 in courtroom 3. I have Ms. Woods. I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Woods, what position was that? Sorry.
Position 17-17, Judge. Thank you.
Ms. Wood, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? You have to speak up for me, ma'am. Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004305E with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The second arrest. She was arrested April 2021. Simple battery, family violence. Cruelty in the third. It's out of DeKalb County. I'm not sure if it's open.
That it?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor, that case is still open. I called to verify that it was not the same victim in our case.
Okay.
On yesterday, the victim, Miss Samantha Donahoe, SAMANTHADONOHO, stated that she saw the defendant at her driver's side door with a sword, Your Honor, and she used the sword to attempt to unlock her car. That, in effect, damaged the lock to the point where it can no longer be unlocked with a key. We spoke with the victim at length, and she stated she does not know the defendant, and she can verify that the defendant was trying to break into her car at the time of the incident. And the driver's side door now is unusable. For that reason, Your Honor, the state is requesting a $1,500 surety bond, a stay away, an MHE, no further contact with the victim. And the stay away location is 244 Peter Street, Southwest, Your Honor, my apologies. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
What is 244 Peter Street?
That is the property of the victim.
Okay. And was Ms. Donahoe in the vehicle at the time?
She was not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Wood is 36 years old, and we do not object to the stay away since my client does not live there. And she was actually visiting her friends' pool party. They were having barbecue and having a really good time. Her mother was there, auntie was there, nephew was there. It was family gathering. And then all of a sudden, nephew goes out and screams for safety of her mother, who was about to be robbed by 3 guys. There were 3 gentlemen who were about to attack her mom. So she was holding a sword, which is not really, it's kind of like those little bit fake knife that kind of, you cannot actually hurt anybody, but she was holding it just to protect herself. It was, I guess, used for Halloween party or something like that. It was bottle knife, and she didn't mean to attack anybody. She was basically defending herself and trying to find things, what was going on. And actually, when the defendant suggested call the police, she actually agreed to call the police to protect herself as well, thinking that, oh, police can come and help all of us out here. So we would like to request for a signature on bond as pretrial services recommended. She has 2 children, 1 and 2. They're all boys. They're right now with her their grandmother. She has been here in Georgia for 36 years. Her family is all here, and she has been disabled because her knee is not working well. Other than that, she has a strong ties to the community, and she does not want to fly out anywhere. And all she wanted was to defend her mother and her family. And it just happened that way. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, it's going to be a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Donahoe. Stay away from the Peter Street address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. Wood.
Your Honor, so that's a note to the MHE.
I see no indication of the necessity for an MHE at the present time.
I understand, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to courtroom 2.
Yes, position 13, Roberts.
Good afternoon, Mr. Roberts. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Roberts, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004301G with loitering and prowling. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's the 5th arrest. Last arrest was in 1998. Possession of a controlled substance.
Okay. Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor. On July 1st, officers were dispatched to Buzzy Unisem USA, located at 2214 West Point Avenue. They were dispatched to a male subject pulling on vehicle doors and refusing to leave the property. Dispatch received a great description that matched the defendant. When the officers arrived on scene, he was still there, and he matched the description, so they went to talk to him. The defendant actually admitted to pulling on the car doors when the officers spoke with him. The manager, Mr. Frizzle of the Buzzy Unisem, stated that he told the defendant to leave several times, but he refused. And he also watched him walk up and down the parking lot pulling on car doors. For that reason, Your Honor, the state is requesting a $1,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, 2214 West Point Avenue, and no drug, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, it's gonna be a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from that West Point Avenue address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Can you unmute? Oh, thank you. Mr. Roberts, you can't go back to that Bussy place. You understand?
Your Honor, that day.
No, okay, no. I don't want you to say anything. I just want to let you know that if you go back there, they're gonna pick you up, and you're gonna be back here. You understand?
I agree.
Okay, Ms. Kim, are you satisfied with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Roberts.
All right.
Position 11, Mr. Parrish.
Good afternoon, Mr. Parrish. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Parrish, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004299F with battery. Their history, Mr. Howard?
12 total. Last arrest was September 2021. Hit and run. April 2021, driving without a valid license, suspended registration. Those were dismissed. 2018 shoplifting conviction. No, hold on. That was dismissed too. 2017 identity theft fraud. We got a few counts of those. Those were a conviction. Also has history out of Florida. Last arrest in Florida was 2012 grand theft, resisting officer. Disorderly conduct that was dismissed. Last battery charge was 07, and it was non-process out of Broward County. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor. Yesterday at around 10 a.m. at the Chevron gas station located at 970 Spring Street Northwest, the defendant got out of his vehicle and punched a victim, Mr. Emmanuel Argumendes, in the face, causing visible scratches and bruising. I would also like to note that the victim was also arrested and he has a case upstairs currently, Your Honor. While the defendant does not have an extensive violent history here in Georgia, he does have a violent history out of Florida. For that reason, the state is requesting a $3,500 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Emmanuel Argumendes, EMANUEL ARGUMEDES. A stay away from the Chevron gas station located at 970 Spring Street Northwest, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 33 years old. He has an associate's degree, he tells me. He is currently employed, Your Honor. He boots cars, and prior to that, he used to be a cook. The court will note that he had one charge in 2007, I believe, out of Florida, which was dismissed. Other than that, he has no violent history, Your Honor. This is a stranger-on-stranger encounter. The other gentleman, the court will note, was arrested, and my client tells me that that man actually pulled a gun on him. They were having an argument. Based on that, Your Honor, I'm asking the court to consider giving my client a signature bond because he doesn't have a violent history. The likelihood of him encountering this person again is remote. They don't live together. They are They are strangers.
Okay. A $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the Chevron at 970 Spring Street, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to
Thank
you,
you,
Mr.
Amy.
Parrish. You're welcome.
Position 15, Stephens.
Let's see, I don't believe it's, Ms. Kim, is this one of your cases?
Oh,
What was the number again, Your Honor?
It's
I couldn't-
15.
This is position 15, yes, that is.
15 is, we thought it was upgraded to felony.
He's on both.
Oh, okay, then it's Miss Maureen McLeod. It's a conflict case, Your Honor.
Is this your client, Ms. McLeod?
What is his name, Your Honor? I'm sorry. I
Yes,
didn't hear.
it's position 15, Mr. Stevens.
Yes, that's my client.
Okay, all right, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Stevens. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Stevens, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004303J with battery family violence. Your history, Mr. Howard?
21 total. He's on probation for terroristic threats. Last arrest was June 2021, terroristic threats and battery family violence out of Richmond County. He's a resident of Augusta. He went to felony earlier. That bond is $6,500 good.
What was the charge?
I don't know, hold on. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I have to look it up. He does have a probation hold out of Augusta. What else? I got probation violation 2016, 2016 ag assault that was dismissed, 2014 battery trespass dismissed. I got an 03 robbery conviction. I got an ag assault on peace officer from 03 as well. 02 robbery that was dismissed. Let's see. I'm not sure what a misdemeanor, what the felony charge was. Because according to the booking, he got 3 misdemeanor charges.
Your
But
Honor, oh, my apologies. I
Yeah,
did
go on
not
and go,
mean
go on
to
and go.
interrupt. I was just trying to assist pretrial. The charges were conspiracy to commit a misdemeanor in possession and use of drug-related objects. However, the charge was upgraded because the co-defendant, he was acting as a party to a crime with the co-defendant who stole a compressor out of a vehicle as well as some electrical equipment, who was then charged with felonies. So the conspiracy was actually a party to a crime of a felony.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Falk.
Not a problem.
Ms. King?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is also very concerned about this defendant's criminal history. The only break you see in arrests and convictions, Your Honor, is after 2003, and that's because he was serving 8 years in prison. Once he was released from prison, he began breaking the law again, Your Honor. And on April 12th of this year, a Cherry Jones came to the police precinct to report an assault that occurred on April 9th of 2022. She stated that she was in her bed at 1093 West Avenue Southwest in Atlanta when the defendant got angry and began to beat on her. He struck her with a closed fist and he was wearing a ring at the eye that caused substantial swelling to her face, Your Honor, which the officer did note seeing. She went at that point to get a protective order, and she stated that she has known him for many years and they have been living together, which is why this is a family violence case. After speaking with our victim, she states they are no longer in a relationship and she does not want any kind of contact with him, and she wants him to stay away. Due to the defendant's criminal history and the facts of this case, and the likelihood of the defendant reoffending, the state is requesting a $10,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Ms. Cherry Jones, a stay away from 1093 West Avenue Southwest, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Mr. Cloud. You're on mute.
My client is 42 years old, Your Honor. He tells me he denies the allegations that have been stated by the prosecutor. He totally denies that any such occurrence took place. He tells me he is homeless, Your Honor, and also disabled. He's not in a position to pay the bond that the state is requesting. In fact, he's not in a position to pay any sort of bond at all because he's unemployed. I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond. It's not a threat to the victim. They don't live together. They don't share any children. And he denies that this event even occurred. So he is definitely presumed innocent. That's all.
All right, it's gonna be a $3,500 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Jones. Stay away from the 1093 West Avenue address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Stevens.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who do we have next? And is that?
This is the interpreter case. Evidently, they're still in the breakout, I'm assuming.
Yes. Let's see what, and we have some people in
Courtroom 3.
courtroom 3. Okay.
Just have position number 4 left in courtroom 3, Judge. And this
Okay.
weekend.
What are we doing? What happened with position number 1?
Position 1 had bonded out.
Okay. All right. And courtroom 3, tell me again, this is position 4?
Yes, Judge, position number 4.
Okay.
Position 4 is Miss Wanda Gant case.
Okay, so we're gonna have to hold for Miss Gantz, and she's still in the breakout room. So I think that we just have position 4 and the interpreter case left. So we will have to be in recess until those 2 come back. Since we only have 2, oh, here we go. Good. So, which case do we want to? Ms. Gant?
Position number 4.
Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can we go ahead and do position 4, Ms. Blanding?
Yes.
And then we'll do the interpreter case last, okay? Good afternoon, Ms. Blandon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Blandon, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004310D with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2017 DUI. It was amended to reckless driving in Richmond, Cobb County.
Ms. Duncan?
Yes, sir. This incident occurred yesterday at 8235 Milan Loop, MILAN Loop. My apologies. Officers were dispatched to a fight call. When they arrived on scene, they met with the defendant in this case, Ms. Blanding. She stated to officers that her mother, that there was a fight between the two. Just noted for the record that in this case, our victim is Monique White, both common spelling. She is the defendant's mother. They were both arrested in this incident, Your Honor, and the mother's case was with felony court this morning. However, in this particular instance in relation to this defendant, officers observed Ms. White standing in the doorway at the location just announced. And they observed that she did in fact have a left swollen eye and a cut, as well as injuries to her face due to the altercation with her daughter in this incident. We have a concern about the cooling off period, since it was just occurred yesterday, and the risk of reoffense, given that they are mother and daughter. We're not sure if they actually live together, so we'll defer to the court in terms of stay away. Given the violent nature of the offense, Your Honor, we're going to have concern for our victim in this case, and we're going to request a $3,000 surety. No further contact, a stay away. As we said earlier, we're going to defer to the court. 1 day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ayanna Blanding is 27 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area her entire life. She has family here, including her parents and siblings. She also is the proud mother of 2 children, ages 1 and 4. She is the primary caretaker. Right now, those kids are with the children's father. She is not receiving any child support, Your Honor. Ms. Blanding completed high school. She also has some college credits from the University of West Georgia and Atlanta Metropolitan College. She is currently employed as an Atlanta real estate agent. However, she informs me that she has a commissions-based salary and she has not sold any homes recently. Therefore, she does not have the means. Your Honor, my client was attacked. It's clear in the warrant that the complaining witness, Ms. Monique White, is charged with we heard that she's charged with the felony. She basically sat on my client. My client could not breathe. My client was taking measures to remove her mother from her person. My client is 27 years old. She does not have any prior convictions or history of violence whatsoever. There is no risk of reoffending. My client does not want to have any contact with her mother. They do, in fact, live at the same address at the incident location. Therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a one-time law enforcement escort so that my client can retrieve her belongings. We are unopposed to any no contact and stay away orders, Your Honor. And again, we are requesting that signature bond. Thank you.
It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. White, stay away from the Milan Loop address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Blanding.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, so we will go to courtroom 2 for the final. This is, can you pronounce his last name for me, Madam Interpreter?
Yes, sir. It's phonetically as it's written. It's Kwek Tlak.
Kwek. Thank you.
Inocencia.
Kwek Inocencia, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're holding by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Buenas tardes, señor Kwek Tlak Inocencia. Yo soy el juez Eric Morrow y esta es la audiencia de listas de causas estatales de trámite rápido y estamos conduciendo esta teleaudiencia para evitar el contagio del virus. ¿Está de acuerdo con que tratemos su caso de esta manera?
You're on mute, courtroom 2.
¿Me puede contestar otra vez?
Sí.
Yes.
You have been charged with giving false information to law enforcement.
Usted tiene un cargo por dar información falsa a un oficial de policía.
Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
¿Hay antecedentes, señor Howard?
I got first arrest.
Este es el primer arresto.
Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. This is his first arrest in Georgia for the record.
Este es el primer arresto en Georgia para el acta.
My apologies, his second arrest.
Perdón, es el segundo.
He has 2 additional arrests out of New York.
Tiene otros 2 en Nueva York.
A burglary in the 3rd degree conviction in 2018.
En 1919 tiene por entrada ilícita en una residencia.
And a possession of stolen property conviction out of New York in 2020.
Y en el 2020 una tenencia de propiedad robada.
There's a 2010 alien admissibility arrest from ICE.
Y también un arresto de inmigración por relacionado con la admisibilidad de su residencia.
And in Georgia, there's a driving without a valid license and DUI arrest out of 2010 that was time expired.
Y en el 2010 también tiene un cargo por manejar bajo los efectos del alcohol y manejar sin licencia.
In this case, it occurred on June 2nd, 2022.
Este caso que ocurrió el 22 de junio del 2022,
The warrant indicates that officers from the Roswell Police Department had at least 4 prior contacts with this defendant.
las oficiales de Roswell constataron que habían tenido contactos previos con este acusado.
In each one of those 4 reported contacts with the defendant, he gave the name that is currently before the court, Ricardo Queclac Ignacia.
Y que en todas esas ocasiones anteriores de haber tenido contacto con él, el acusado dio el nombre que está ahora presente en esta lista, que es Ricardo Queclac Inocencia.
He additionally gave the date of birth of March 12, 1991.
Y originalmente dio la fecha de nacimiento del 12 de marzo de 1991.
On this incident, during the encounter with the Roswell police, the defendant gave a different name of Alberto Flores.
Y en este incidente que estamos tratando ahora, el acusado dio su nombre al oficial de policía como Alberto Flores.
He also gave an incorrect date of birth, being March 12, 1992.
Y dio una fecha de nacimiento incorrecta como el 12 de marzo de 1992.
Officers indicated in the warrant that he did admit to lying previously, but could not recall what name he had previously given to officers.
Él se dieron cuenta que había cometido un error con el nombre, pero sí había tratado de corregirlo con los oficiales.
At the time of incident, officers said that they were unsure of the lawful name of the defendant because he has arrest and under both names.
En el día del incidente, los oficiales estaban inseguros cuál era el nombre legal de él porque vieron que había tenido arrestos en ambos nombres.
Here, the state has a concern about the risk of reoffense, given that the defendant in this case has given false information before.
La fiscalía tiene inquietudes acerca del riesgo en que él vuelva a cometer otra infracción o delito debido a que él ya ha dado información falsa previamente.
In this case, there's a $500 preset surety bond. The state is going to ask that that remain as set.
En este caso se estableció una fianza de $500, una fianza de garantía, y la fiscalía pide que se mantenga igual.
This defendant have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Que quede prohibido para este acusado el uso de alcohol, drogas y armas.
And no further violations of Georgia law.
Y que no incumpla la ley de Georgia más.
Nothing further from the state.
Nada más de la fiscalía.
It's going to be a $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Va a ser una fianza de $1,000 bajo firma a través de la cárcel.
With no additional conditions.
Y sin ninguna otra condición más.
Does that suit you, Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, it does.
¿Está bien esto, señora Gant? Sí, su señoría, gracias.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
How much the fiance? How much the fiance? ¿Cuánto es la
How
fianza?
much is bond?
He's getting a signature bond.
Usted va a salir bajo firma.
Bajo firma.
As we discussed, you will be able to sign yourself out.
Como le hablamos, que iba a firmar nada más para salir. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Madam Interpreter. We
You're
appreciate your
welcome.
assistance this
Have
afternoon.
a good evening. My
You
pleasure.
do the same. Thank you.
Bye.
And I believe that completes the afternoon calendar. Is that correct? Are we good, courtroom 2?
Yes, that completes it.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Champion, when you're ready, we can go over the calendar.
Okay, position number 1 was reset further notice, defendant was released. Position number 2 is reset further notice with the $5,000 pretrial bond. Position number 3 is a total of a $2,000 sign no bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 4 is a $2,000 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 5 is a $2,000 sign no bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 6 is a $1,000 sign no bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 7 is a $3,000 sign no bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 8 is a $3,000 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 9 is a $3,000 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 10 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 11 is a $3,000 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 12 is a total of $1,000 good bond, reset to the SAP 719. Position number 13 is a $1,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 14 is a total of a $4,000 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 15 is a $3,500 good bond, reset SAP 719. Position number 16 is a total of a $2,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. And position number 17 is a $1,500 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Any questions?
Did number 11 have anger awareness?
Number 11,
Yes, it did.
any other questions? If not, you all have a good afternoon, Ms. Champion. I'll get those back to you as soon as
Okay.
they send it to me, okay?